Guys, this has been a lot of fun. I can't tell you how much fun. With that, as always, we got to wrap it up here. So bear with me for just a brief moment. I can't, again, thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh, I hope I can say this without getting too choked up. Wow. Thank you for watching SevenSidedDie's Carpathian Adventure. We've been playing this campaign for 8-ish years. The champions of the sun ventured far and wide. After meeting the vampire Osman Ghazi and a demon in the form of a red dragon and fleeing from both of them, they sought out parts for and assembled a legendary weapon called the Tour de Demon. A powerful one-use weapon that took the party literally 4+ years in real time to assemble. Years later, having funded an army to counter Ghazi's Ottoman armies, the champions confronted Ghazi's minions and the demon in the form of a red dragon on an obscure road between the Ile de Cité and Dijon. The party destroyed the demon's dragon form, exposed the demon, and pinned it in place. While dealing with their pinned demon, their nemesis, Osman Ghazi, appeared. Presented both, the party chose to lance the pinned demon and expend the Tour de Demon's one charge. In doing so, they utterly destroyed the creature from hell. Theirs was a resounding victory worthy of ending a campaign itself. But Ghazi and his minions were still on the field. Despite having used the Tour de Demon's one charge, the champions chose to fight. They gloriously took down many of Ghazi's minions, though the tide was not in their favor. An old god looked on them favorably, and the champions gained a brief respite. Time stood still for Osman and his troops. Rather than using the time to flee, the party wailed on Ghazi and his troops, taking down many a minion. Still, it was not enough. One by one, the champions went down. The last returned, and in exchange for their lives, returned a coveted possession to Ghazi. The champions lived to fight another day. They set forth to find another charge for their powerful magical weapon, and they did. Teleporting to a safe haven nearby, the party planned and plotted, then defeated the big bad evil guy, Osman Ghazi, closing more than a chapter. What does the future have in store? Well, the Ottomans, they're probably leaderless. But Ghazi's battered and beaten son, he got away. A 10,000-man army paid for by the champions of the sun engages from the north. A black dragon engages the Ottomans surrounding Janmus Dawnflower in the west. A green dragon took care of many others, but he's nowhere in sight at the moment. All the doing of the party, called the Champions of the Sun. After just a few days of adventuring with the Champions of the Sun, Kroof had then more money in his diamonds in his pocket than he ever could have imagined. Cash poor and without his life at the moment. What's in store for Kroof? Does Naldo continue to work with the Wardens of the Pale, searching out artifacts and magically infused items? Does he rout the Teutons? As for Edric, who recently left the party, do the old gods continue to look favorably on this field medic, or does science blaze a new path for him? And what of Galila? When she departed, did she become the mistress of the once nefarious organization called Prima Isolde? Or did she return home to help her father? What happens or happened to the one human in the party, non-human in the party, Kip? Is he really dead? Did he go home to Garanon? If he did, what did he find there? As to the Baron, if he is transforming, does he complete his transformation? What exactly does he become? Does Balder return the heart of Bolli Bollison to Sneffelnus?
The next goal.
And lay him to rest? Does he wrestle Iceland away from Norway? And last, the first champion, the one who with Humgos so many years ago started this adventure, Mattias. Have his efforts stopped the civil war in Carpathia? Does he go on to defeat the Rabbit Man?
Oh, yeah,
These are stories yet to be told, but more than a chapter has come to an end. That was tough, guys. I grew up playing tabletop role-playing games. Over 45-ish years of playing them, the different versions of Dungeons & Dragons are the ones I played the most. This D&D campaign started as a gathering in 2016.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I selfishly wanted to play, but I also wanted to give, excuse me, guys, my then 16-year-old son.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We feel it too, Tom.
Yeah.
So we feel it. We feel it, man. You're not alone.
I'm tearing up right here.
You're not alone.
You keep going.
All right, so you're good.
Yeah, I wanted to give him that in-person tabletop role-playing experience, that I had as a kid. To do so, I wanted to run a consistent, in-person, long-term, role-play heavy homebrew game. Use minis and have fun, of course. Throwing it out there, that game quickly took on a life of its own, and that game became this game. We started with advanced Dungeons & Dragons rules. While I had played 2nd and 3rd edition, AD&D was the rule set I knew the best. One player, I think it was Ryan, mentioned, and another player, I think it was Brad, advocated for 5th edition. I had not heard of 5th, but most players wanted to try it. I didn't even know the edition's rules, but we converted anyway. In 2016, only the 5e Player's Handbook and the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide existed. So that's what we started with. New to the edition, I asked that we stick with the basics. All agreed. 8 years later, 5th edition grew and changed. There are now close to 50 books available for it, all with new subclasses, spells, rules, etc. Computer and smartphone technology has made access easier for many. I think the same player who advocated for 5th edition introduced us to streaming. Most were excited about the project. Some embraced it reluctantly. A few still ask why. Me? I jumped in feet first. We streamed our first session in 2018. As a game, it was fun. As a show, it was incredibly, incredibly bad. Simply awful. Fast forward 7-ish years, those first few episodes are painful to watch. I left them up there because I think they show a milestone.
Up in the dining room.
I humbly think our streams have gotten better, but that's just my opinion. Either way, what I've enjoyed most about the game is writing scenarios that can potentially go in so many different directions. Again, having a purpose for the minis I paint, and most importantly, meeting some great folks, some of whom have become friends. To do so, I've taken a chance on people. I've invited them into my home. I've met some folks with whom I did not mesh, but I met far more terrific people. As I said at the top, a player who played the character Humgos was the first to join Reiner and me in 2016. Next, Eddie joined us for a while, occasionally with his brother.
Oh, yeah.
Brad joined us
Remember
in
Eddie?
2017 and coined the name the Champions of the Sun. They were quickly joined by Ryan, who, in addition to being a great add to the group, made many creative things for me, including this amazing DM screen. Then Joe, a fellow DM who has been a sounding board for me over the years, joined us. Then Dylan. Wyland joined us with his phenomenally popular Louvier Moreau and created our SevenSidedDie logo. Rounding out 2017, Eli, then Brian joined us. Brian has helped me with many computer challenges. My wife and I have also enjoyed watching his band play. With his showmanship, Mark joined us in 2018. Some left, but Ryan, Brian, and Mark have basically been here since the beginning of our streamed history. Jess brought his creative concepts to the group in 2019, Nick in 2021, and despite the incredible commute, the very talented Zubaida joined us, the stalwart champions in 2022. Lastly, the party was rounded out by James, who joined us just a short while ago. Quite a few others have been gamed with us, including my brother, and some incredibly awesome players like Chris, Michelle, and my high school buddy, Mike. I feel I would be remiss if I did not recognize that there were others that I know did not care for my DM style. Some I literally pissed off. A few, perhaps more than a few, pissed me off. With that, and gaming with folks who were at least initially complete strangers, I know that I've made mistakes as a dungeon master and as a person. While I've tried to learn from my mistakes, I've also learned that I'm not going to make everyone happy. Still, I hope most had fun at my table. Did I attain the goal I outlined at the beginning? That was, did I run a consistent, in-person, long-term, roleplay heavy game with a tactical component, use minis, and have fun? Except for COVID, I think it was reasonably consistent. While Reiner moved away, it was still mostly in person. It lasted 9 years? Is that long term? The degree to which it was role-play heavy and tactical, I get, is subjective. But I wrote everything based upon the characters in the game. I also think we used a lot of minis. I know I painted a lot. Lastly, while I know some did not always, I more often than not did have fun. Rest assured, I am not done with tabletop RPGs, most certainly not. I still game away from this table with a friend I met running this game. While there might be some short, episodic Carpathian adventures, this campaign is over. It is time not just for a new chapter, but a new story. For the next journey, I have concepts and minis, believe it or not, in the works. I hope some of my players will want to write that story with me. If there are empty seats available, I will also invite strangers into my home. Hope we mesh and hope that they have a good time. When will that start? I'm guessing in about 6-ish weeks. Whenever it starts, it will be streamed. So I hope that you, our viewers, will join us. As I always say, the journey is the destination. This has been one hell of a journey for me, guys. And it will continue, just a different one. So for now, thank you for watching. Roll a 7-sided die and have a good night.
Play some Dungeons and Dragons!